Hey everyone, my name is Cara Bradley. I'm the founder of Verge Body-Mind, a yoga and meditation center in suburban Philadelphia. I've been teaching movement for over 30 years and have been teaching yoga for about 20 years. I've also been running teacher training programs for 14 years and have been supporting teachers and teacher trainees for just as long. I've made every mistake in the book, and I've supported teachers in ramping up their own learning curve as quickly as possible as yoga teachers. So if you haven't seen some of my other videos on how to rock your yoga classes through cueing and my cueing template, take a look. Today I want to talk to you about how to stop using that annoying yoga teacher tampon voice. Now, the title of this video may have caught your attention, and we have a lot of fun with this at Verge, talking amongst teachers when we slip into this like sultry, sort of whispery, very sing-songy yoga teacher voice. And what is that? And where does it come from? And why the heck do we do it? And most importantly, how do we stop doing it? So the first thing I want to encourage you to do is to have a sense of humor, because we all do this. I do it. I get caught in the tampon voice. And let me just describe where this has come from. You know, in working with a lot of our teachers, especially when they're newer teachers come in and feel like they've got to speak a certain way when they're teaching a yoga class, that they've got to take on a certain persona in order to be a yoga teacher, right? And the truth is that not only is it not effective, but it's annoying to your students. And they may not be able to verbalize it, but they feel it in their body. So the tampon yoga teacher voice is real simple. If you think about those feminine product commercials that you see on TV, they're all the same. There's some woman voiceover, female voiceover, who's got this very quiet, sort of whispery voice that says, you know, you can still go out and play and do whatever you want to do. You know, you'll feel safe and comfortable if you buy these feminine products. Like, okay, you know, not sure really why we have to whisper that, but this is the idea of what is happening for a lot of yoga teachers. And, you know, it's outrageous, of course, to call it the tampon yoga teacher voice, but it is true. And when we, you know, especially at Verge amongst teachers, you know, we'll just call each other out on the tampon voice and we all have a good laugh. So take it or leave it, doesn't matter, but just know the essence of it and know if you're doing it. And if you are doing it, work hard to change it, because your classes will be much more powerful if you're able to speak, effectively communicate in your own naturally conversational voice. All right, so the first way to know if you have this yoga teacher voice is to record your class. Yep. Get your iPhone out, stick it in your yoga pants, you know, right there. It's going to record. I almost dropped my phone. And press play. Listen to yourself teach. And then guess what? You're going to plop your own mat down and you're going to take your own class. And listen, you don't have to take an hour class, but take at least 15 minutes. And it's excruciating. Trust me, I've done it. Take your own class, because nobody is going to be able to give you the feedback you need more than you. And yes, you know, of course, we're looking to critique our own class, but can we do it with a little bit of humor and with a good, courageous heart? Because this is what masters do. Masters have the capacity to stand outside themselves and to give themselves honest feedback without the bashing, right? The self-bashing and the self-loathing. So let's get over that and just take your class as you would take anybody else's class and listen to your voice. Is that your true voice? Ask a loved one. Ask somebody, your kids, boy, the kids will be brutally honest. Does this sound like mommy or daddy? Does this sound like who I am? Or is this some weird yoga teacher voice that I'm using? So the first thing to do is record. And I give this homework a lot to the teachers at Verge. And I ask them, did you listen? And so often they're like, no, I haven't gotten to it yet. Why not? Why not? What are you afraid of hearing? We're afraid of hearing the truth because that recorder will speak back to us, whether or not we are speaking in our naturally conversational voice or if we're taking on this persona of yoga teacher in a sing-songy, whispery, sort of weird, drawn out voice. Okay, and while we're on the subject of draw, I have to throw this in. What is this word and why do we use it so much as yoga teachers? Draw. I actually looked it up before I got on here. To draw is to pull or drag so as to make follow behind. So drawing your right elbow in, drawing your left leg forward. I'm sorry, it doesn't work for me. So just notice if you're using it a lot because we tend to take on the habits of other yoga teachers, especially if we're in a studio environment where we're teaching and taking a lot. As much as you can, just eliminate the word. It's just not effective. It's just a little effected, actually, if you want to know the truth. So, okay, little side note. Let's get back to it. Record your class for sure and listen to it. Give yourself feedback. Is that my voice? Number 2, teach a friend in a large space. So I do this with our teachers who get stuck in yoga teacher voice, yoga teacher tampon voice. I make them go across the studio and it's empty and I put my mat down at the far end of the studio and I ask them to teach me a sequence of poses. Usually within a minute, they're smiling and they totally get it because you can't effectively teach one person on the other side of a room a sequence of poses without just saying it in your normal, natural speaking voice. It's hard to teach one person across the room in your sultry, yoga teacher, whispery, okay, now we're going to, and let's draw our right foot in. Okay, well, whatever. Sorry, I really get a kick about talking about this stuff because it's just not who we are. It's just not our normal way of speaking. So let's get over it, people. Let's get over it. All right, last thing to do is start cueing everything with active verbs. I say this in the other three classes, the 3 videos on effective communication. Active verbs make it hard to use the tampon voice. Usually when we're using the tampon voice, we're speaking in a passive voice. Left arm in, right arm up, chin up, heart open, as opposed to reach back, grab your right foot, lift your left arm up, lift your chin, open your heart. When we're speaking in active verbs, it is much more powerful and we have to speak in that more commanding conversational voice. All right, record, teach a class or teach a few poses in an empty room to one person on the other side of the room. And thirdly, use active verbs. Go back to one of the other videos to check them out. If you want my list of active verbs that I've accumulated over 14 years of teacher training, you've got to get in touch with me, right? I'm making you work here. You've got to email me, cara@carabradley.net, or you can just sign up for, just email me. That's the best way, and then I'll know you're serious, and I'll send you off the active verbs. So one other thing that I want to make really clear, I'm not just picking on soft-spoken people, right? Because there are people that are just quieter, and that's fine. And I'm not saying that being quiet or, more gentle is wrong. It's the tone of voice that you're using that is annoying. It annoys a lot of people, and they may not know why, but it feels like gooey and icky, and they're not, maybe it doesn't quite allow them the space to get into their body during class. When we can be just a voice in their ear, like a director would say to an actor, camera right, camera left, pull back, come forward, that's what we're doing as movement teachers. We're just a gentle voice in the back of their ear, like that little whatever microphone that the anchorman or anchorwoman uses, right? So we're not saying you have to scream this stuff. It's when we sit back on our heels and become passive in the conversation. As a yoga teacher, you are having a conversation with the bodies in the room. You're having a conversation. It's not poetry. You're trying to communicate in a way that is moving bodies in and out of movement patterns. So if you sit back on your heels and you sit back in the sing-songy, very gentle voice, like they should know what to do when you say, draw your thigh bone into its socket. Most people don't understand that. And it's a great subtle cue, but you say it once you've pulled the whole body into a pose. All right, I'm done. I'm done with the rant. Here's the deal. Know if you're speaking in a passive voice. Get the feedback from the recording and from friends, from fellow teachers. Ask them, does this sound like me? Am I putting you to sleep? Am I hypnotizing you with my sing-songy rhythmic dialogue? Or am I keeping you awake and alert because I'm having a conversation with your body and with your lungs? Right? There it is, guys. I'd love to hear your feedback. Let me know. Put some comments out there. You can challenge me. I'm up for the challenge. Let me know if your classes change after starting to really look at your voice, really be honest with yourself, and you may just notice things pep up a little bit in your classes. Thank you for watching. Please keep in touch with me. You can learn much more about me on my website, carabradley.net, and also about Verge Body-Mind at vergebody-mind.com. Awesome. Have a great day.